Hey everyone, I'm back again. I hope you're all staying safe as usual. I'm currently in the process of moving things right now. And that's why I haven't gotten to this video sooner. But as promised, today I'm going to show you how to make a Kompa synth sound. So here's an example of what we're going to make today.
Église Nouvelle Création. Ouais, remettre. Et puis virel. Comme ça.
Okay. So, some of you might be familiar with that style of sound. It's a sound that's very unique to Kompa. So once you learn how to make it, please try not to overuse it because it is a nice sound, but some of you guys might try to go overboard with it. So use it sparingly. But I guarantee that you guys aren't gonna find this video anywhere else on the internet. A lot of musicians or maestros, they refrain from showing you these tips and secrets on how to make Kompa sounds. And I'm only doing this because I believe in progressing our music. And the only way to do that is by showing others, especially with the newer generation, how to create our music with 100% authenticity. I also see a lot of fusion Kompa on streaming platforms, and my opinion is it's okay to evolve our music or change it, but you have to know and understand the foundation or the basics first. You can't do that without having the blueprints, which is why you're here right now. With that said, if you would like to see more content like this, please support me by subscribing to the channel and follow me on Spotify and other social media. All the links are in the description. Share with your friends, guys. This will really help to motivate me to continue to make more content for you guys. So now, let's begin. In case you haven't noticed, I really love using my Fantom for Kompa music. I'm not sponsored by them, but I definitely recommend trying it if you haven't already. I know there's a new one out there, but this one really gets the job done. So now I'm just going to look for an initial patch to start our project today. Of course, with Kompa, you have the 3 heavyweight brands for synths, like Roland, Yamaha, and Korg. No shade if I didn't mention one you like. Those are just the ones that are more prominent. Now the first step is you want to try to imagine the sound in your head, and it's gonna translate into the sound that you're gonna create. And so with the reference sound, you hear this awe sound, like it's like this like a chorus, like singing, but it's like a deep growl kind of sound. So that's what we're gonna aim for today. So like I said, imagine the sound first, and then you could use a reference sound. So if you have it, you can compare what you're making so that it sounds like it. And then with the Fantom, of course, you want to categorize your sounds. I'm just gonna put it as a hard lead just to keep things organized, and I can always find it easily when I'm trying to play either in a concert or even record a song or anything. I'll just have it in my memory bank later on. So here I have the waveforms, and you can mess around with it. With the Fantom, I believe it has 128 note polyphony. I could be wrong on that, don't quote me, but you could actually mix and match a bunch of different sounds here, and it's very well packed for that kind of I would say mixing arrangement. So I'm just gonna go straight to the sound that I like. So for this lead sound, the first the first form you're gonna need is the E sound, which is programmed in my keyboard. You could find an equivalent, but on the Fantom it's the patch number 1362, and I'm just gonna make it stereo, and you'll see why later on. It just it gives it a nice 3D effect, because some sounds you want it to have stereo on both sides, either through a headphone or a speaker, and then other sounds you might just want it to be mono on one side. So that's what I'm doing here. And then I'm just gonna adjust the TVf. I don't have enough time to explain what TVf is. There are a bunch of tutorials online if you want. There are resources on Google too that explains what TVs does exactly, but it's essentially a filter that makes the sound better, basically. So I'm just gonna add 50 TVf Resonance to the sound, and it just makes it sound better. And then now, of course, I'm gonna add my second sound, okay, which is it's gonna be an organ sound, okay. So a lot of people might not know this, but a lot of synth sounds, like Kompa synth sounds, they incorporate an organ sound just to give it a little growl, but you don't want it to overpower. Sometimes you want it just to have a subtle effect on your sound. And so that's why I'm just gonna add this organ. It's a B39 organ. On the Fantom, it's the patch number 348. And I'll write all this stuff down in the description, guys, so you don't have to worry about that. And then I'm just gonna adjust the TVf here. I'm gonna add cutoff of 86 frequency. And then you can leave the resonance at 0, okay? And then now, for my third and final sound, by the way, I didn't put the organ on stereo, I just put that on mono. So for the third and final sound, it's really up to you. You can either add a synth voice, or you can add a tiny bell sound if you want it to have like lightness to the sound. For me, I don't want to lose too much of the growl, so I'm just gonna add a synth voice, and it's patch 113, and I'm gonna play it so you can hear it soon. But it's really up to you at this point. You can mix and match your own sounds here. There's no set stone way to do it, really. So this is what it sounds like. Again, you can adjust it, you can add your own sounds. Like, this is just my preference. And in my head, this is what the sound that I envision without any additional effects, which we're gonna get into soon. So the next two things are like essential to your Kompa sounds. I'm gonna show you here. This is what what they call Portamento. You need Portamento, guys. With your Kompa soloing, you need Portamento, you need modulation. Those things are the details that make your sound stick out. You really need those. If you don't use Portamento, you guys are really missing out on your Kompa soloing. I'm telling you, you really need Portamento. Some people they might want to adjust their the poly sound. Some keyboards might already have it on a poly sound, others might not, and it might give you this weird effect where it can only play one note at a time. If that's what you want to, you can have it that way, but most keyboard players like to have it with the poly sound on. And then I'm just gonna save it with a name. You could store it with whatever name you want. And this stuff applies to if you're using Logic or any sort of DAW. It all applies. So now here's the secret sauce, guys. Okay, this is just gonna make your sound really sound amazing. What you need to do is you need to add effects. Effects really make the sound pop out. Like, once you have the good foundation, what we just did before, the effects is just gonna make it 10 times better. Okay, so the first step is I'm gonna adjust my overall sounds, because on the Fantom you can adjust each tone to your liking. but I'm just gonna do a general effect to all of my tones, and then I'm gonna add a delay, okay, and I'm just gonna adjust the levels here. So on the left side, I'm gonna have it play eighth notes, and then on the right side, I'm gonna have it play quarter notes, okay. And you can put it milliseconds, quarter notes, or whatever you prefer. This is just my preference. I like some delay to really stick out when I'm soloing. All right. There are other effects too. You could really, there are no limits here. So it's up to you how crazy you want to go with it. This is where your imagination comes in. Okay. And then for my other effects, I'm gonna add a chorus, delay, and reverb. Okay. And then I know you guys are probably thinking, why am I adding 2 delays, right? Well, one delay is for the effect. The other delay, I'm just using it as a gain. That's just a little cheat that I found through experience by using the Fantom over the years. You could use an effect without using it, if that makes sense, just to gain the sound. So that's what I'm gonna do here, and it just gives that sound the extra boost that you need. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just adjusting my levels. So yeah, as you see here, I'm not gonna give any delay. I'm just gonna leave it at 0. However, through the signal line that the effect goes through, I'm just gonna boost it up to the last level that I could reach, which on my keyboard is 127 decibels. And this is what it sounds like. It gives it that gain. And the same goes for the reverb. You could really mess around with it. The reverb just gives it kind of like a hall effect, like a major, like a big hall, like it could be a church or a studio. I just used a random, like a standard reverb, and I added 65 decibels to that effect. And that's what gives the sound its overall, I would say, value. And then I'm gonna save, of course. And we're all set pretty much. Thank you all again for your continued support. I have more songs coming out for you. Look out for the Bon Dieu Libéré album. You can also follow me again on Twitter and Instagram at pititgou. Also, if you really enjoyed this, please like and subscribe, as I will continue to keep posting in the future for you guys. If you have more questions or comment, I'll be looking out for it in the comment section. I always reply whenever I see that. And so, signing out for now. Thank you again, and have a good day. Bye.